will come along this line here like this and across like such. Now we want to find where the philtrum comes. The philtrum is a separation of the upper lip. It comes about this far inside of the nostril, and the back of the philtrum will come slightly behind the half point here, like such. Now let's just draw it in and draw this line down like this and draw the construction for the philtrum. And now let's start drawing our cast shadow, which will start up here like this, and around like this to form the foil for the back of our nose here. And there is a change in value up in here like this, so let's put it in here. We are drawing a diagram or a map of all of the changes in values. Now let's just come in here like this and get this shape in here like this, and this shape in here like this, bring this over here like this, like that. And we have the construction of the nose. Now the next thing that we do, we eliminate the construction lines, because the construction lines will get in the way of the rendering. So let's eliminate the construction lines like this with our eraser. If you want, you can use your red eraser, be a little bit more accurate, like that, like this, like this, like this. Getting rid of all the construction lines that are going to get in the way of the rendition. All right, now we have our drawing, and because it is a little bit on the dark side, I want to lighten it just a little bit, so I'm going to tap it so that these lines don't come out too much when I start rendering. Now, if you were to draw it with a 4H pencil, your lines would not be that dark, and consequently you wouldn't have to tap it like that. In fact, if you were to draw with a 4H pencil, your line would be like this. And that would be as dark as you would go. You do not put much pressure on it at all, because if you do, you will make dents into the paper. All right, now what I'm going to do is give you a little bit of a demonstration on the rendering. We have been using the 4H pencil up to this point to get the construction. From this point on, we are going to be using the HB pencil, which is the only other pencil we're going to use on this nose here, and we're going to use it very minimally. Now, first of all, I'm going to make some black tone, not gray like this, but black tone like this, which will be what I will draw my tone off of. And I want to show you the reason I burnish. I'm going to make a black tone here like this, and I want to sharpen my pencil again like this, so I just as well do it by getting some more dark tone. Now I'm going to take my stump and I'm going to burnish the front edge of it by pressing like this on the very front of the tone here like this, And then I'm going to run the tone over it here like this, picking up the tone on the left. And where I've burnished, it is hard, it leaves a hard edge. And where I did not burnish, it leaves a soft edge. I want to keep the drawing at all times. One thing I forgot to mention was that you should use the smooth side of the paper, not the rough side of the paper. Because if you use the rough side of the paper, you'll never get rid of the texture. And also, do not draw on your pad, as you will get a resiliency in there, which will make indentations that you'll never get out of the drawing. And another thing, it might be a good idea to get used to using the maul stick right now, because it will prevent you from touching the drawing like this. But for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to do it because it will get in the way of the demonstration. But you use the maul stick by grabbing it like this, and holding it away from the board like this. All right, now I'm going to use the HB pencil, and notice how minimally I'm going to use it. I'm going to get a good clean hard edge around the outside of the opening of the nostril. A good clean hard edge on the outside here again. And it is black. I'm not making it gray, but black. And I'm not going to put quite as much pressure on the left side because I'm going to be blending into it. The reasoning I will be giving you later on. But this, we are going to do nothing but flat patterns. There is nothing going to be modeled in here at all. Just flat patterns until we start pulling it together. This is the opening of the nostril, so it is going to be black. The front part is not the opening, it is flesh over flesh and will be a gray. So let's come in here and outline it like this, and let's put a gray tone in here like this and put it in smoothly. We don't want to do it scratchy, because if we do it scratchy, we're going to have a hard time getting rid of all the little scratch marks that we get. And that is going to suffice for the front of the nose. Now we find the back of the alar wing here is going to have a black cast shadow. So keep a good clean hard edge on the back of the alar wing like this. And the outside of it will have a black hard edge. This is black, not gray. And bring it down like this and stop like that. It is black there. And in this area right in here, it is going to be a gray, a lighter gray, just to hold the edge of the bottom of the nose. And just put it in flatly, like that. And this up here we do with our stump. Now from now on, I'm going to use my stump. Now I'm going to burnish the edges here, holding a good, clean, crisp, hard edge on the outside, so that when I pull my tone over it, I will not drag the tone into the value that I have been putting down and waste a lot of time having drawn it and have to erase and change and erase and change. I burnish right up to the very edge here like this, burnish up to the very edge here like this, to the front of the nostril here like this, and I swirl my stump here and press quite hard here so that it will press the graphite into the paper. Now I'll get a good clean hard edge on the outside of the back of the alar wing, a good clean hard edge on the outside here like this, and let's get a good clean hard edge here like this, and a good hard edge here like this. And now I'm going to